Dorothy Sayers. I strongly recommend that all of you read this short article by Dorothy Sayers, maybe 11 pages long. And if you do a research on Dorothy Sayers, you will find this article. I believe it's called The Lost Tools of Learning. It should be up there on my screen. I'm sorry that it's not. The Lost Tools of Learning. And it's good if you're a homeschool parent, regardless of the age that you have, that you read this. I developed my curriculum before I read her essay. Because my curriculum initially was, this is a history curriculum. This is how you study history. But how you do any type of subject that is similar to history, like philosophy or literature, is very similar. And this essay that she writes very nicely puts everything in a great perspective so that it's easy for you to make objectives for your own family. So at the beginning of the year, maybe the end of the year right now, if you're like me at all, you're relieved that the year has come to a close. And you can maybe take a little break from the very challenging job of teaching. But you're also, right, you're thinking about next year, you're planning, what do I do for next year? This year I didn't quite finish what I wanted to do. How do I make sure that that doesn't happen next year? Or maybe you're thinking, I let my children down in these certain ways and how I was teaching. How do I make sure that doesn't happen next year? Most of the things that we're teaching our children when we homeschool does not involve academics. They involve approaches to how you should treat other people and how you should treat the subject that you're learning. So in those areas, I'm going to imagine that all of you were giant successes. That by your examples, you were wonderful examples to your children, how to treat others, how to behave with others, how to be respectful, how to want to know the truth, how to have that hunger to know the truth in every subject, how to be patient with other people, how to be patient with subjects. If your kids are learning these skills, which are taught regardless of the topic that you are teaching, then you were a huge success, and they will grow up and be wonderful people, intelligent, interested to learn. And Dorothy Sayers in this essay, although she doesn't specifically speak like that, you kind of understand this is the end result that she's getting at as well. So how many of you have read The Lost Tools of Learning by Dorothy Sayers? Okay, wonderful. So from this hour talk, hopefully I will have taught you at least one thing, and you will go and read this essay. And in that way you will learn much more. I know if I go to a teacher development and I learn one thing in 1 hour, my dad taught me that was a successful hour. I hope that this will be better than that. But definitely this is a great thing to read. So what she does is she breaks the levels of learning, the stages of learning, into 3 different stages. First is the grammar stage, before the age of 12. This is when children are very happy to show you what they've drawn, what they've memorized. They're happy to mimic. It can be called the parrot stage, playing games. So with my own children, I like to think of this as the zoo stage. The stage where the children love to go to the San Diego Zoo. I mentioned San Diego Zoo because we're in Southern California, and I really enjoy the San Diego Zoo. But after the age of 12 or so, the kids no longer are very excited to go. They're going just because they have to go. Because at the zoo, the zoo is set up to teach you what the animals eat, where they live, and what they look like. But there's no deep analysis going on. I guess if you visit the polar bear area, you will get an indoctrination of the evils of global warming. But there will be no discussion, there will be no counter evidence, which does exist, which would make that exciting. It's not there. So this is the grammar stage. And for teaching history, our company has created games that teach history. They're fun games. They teach basic facts, chronology, some critical thinking skills. And so the kids will memorize things and have a firm basis in these basic points. So they're prepared later when they're 13 or so and they start to question mom and dad and question things. They'll have at least a basics in history understanding. In the dialectic or logic stage, this is where the student is starting to express his own thoughts, coming up with excellent ideas of why he should be doing things sometimes that are great, sometimes that are not so great. And how many of you have children over 12 years and older here? 12 and older. Okay, wonderful. Most of you. So the curriculum that we create is for that age, ages 12 and over. And I've been a middle school teacher for 18 years, teaching grades 6, 7, and 8. So I've become a lover of students of this age. They're very exciting because intellectually they can grasp just about everything. Just about everything. They're ready, and it's new to them. And they want to let you know what they think. And they need to learn how to think in a way that's logical and reasonable. And they're open to learning how to do it. They're not interested to memorize things anymore in history. It's boring for them. It's just a bunch of hard work, and it makes no sense. So that's the dialectic or logic stage. In the rhetoric stage, same concepts are being taught, but in history education, they're reading more challenging texts. They're reading more primary source documents, which I'll talk about later. And we should be giving them more times to present. I make the junior high kids and my homeschool groups also make a formal presentation at the middle of the year. I try to do this at the middle of the year, definitely at the end of the year, a formal presentation. It's a wonderful way for them to express what they think. They make it in front of the parents and the children who were in the little, history group, or you can invite grandma and grandpa. And it's also a wonderful way for them to know that they have to work very hard because in 3 weeks they're going to be presenting to 10 other people. And so it's just a great way, this public presentation. I strongly recommend, at whatever history curriculum you choose, at the end of the year, they make a presentation in front of others and give them a month to prepare. And every week, talk to them about it. And then when they present, it's best if they use no notes, because then they will have to know it. If they use notes, they may just read from the notes and be very nervous about it.